my friend, and welcome to Up Next on Access Hammonton. I'm your host, NorEasterNick. February is known for long nights and short days and generally cold weather. That's the bad stuff, right? But there's also tons of good things, like Black History Month, for example. We are lucky enough here in town to have our very own Diversity, Equity, and Inclusion Committee that works tirelessly in our community to promote awareness. I sat down with the chairman of the committee to learn more about what they do.
So we are a group of diverse individuals that was brought together in July of 2021, and our goal and primary goal is to unify. There's no doubt we have an exceptionally warm and welcoming community. That goes without saying. But we want to make sure that this is a warm and welcoming community for everyone, and everyone's voice is appropriately heard. And we have a lot of really great community organizations like the Hammonton Health Coalition and the Connectors, the Cone Vivere Wellness Hub. And we want to work to partner with groups like that and also partner with other town organizations to help make our parks and rec more handicap accessible or more available for individuals who may have speech delays and learning disabilities. So we want to work with existing town organizations and work collaboratively with them to help include and promote the diversity, equity, and inclusion message.
For me, Black History Month has always been a time to, one, just learn a little bit about a history that is, in some cases, well, when you look at all year around, it's a little bit underspoken about. It's not something that's a part of a lot of normal curriculum. So for Black History Month, it's very important for me because it's the time where I get to see the history of people who look like me, who have struggled with some of the things that I've struggled with along their lives and how it's impacted me. And I think as far as for a community, depending on the community, some people have the same experiences as I do, but for those who don't, they get to learn a little bit about the other side. They get to learn a little bit about why things are the way they are, why people think the way they think. So it kind of gives a big chance for exposure, but it also gives us a chance to not repeat the same mistakes that happened in the past. So I think it's a very good learning opportunity personally for me and very good outlook for the community. Awareness. I mean, I think that we do so much in the 28 days of February. We make sure that there's just different programming, we make sure there's different literature, we make sure there's different posters and things like that. But there's about 11 other months in the year that we don't have that kind of diversity, and not necessarily just for Black history. We're talking about other cultures as well. So I think that one of the best things that we could do is put more information out throughout the year. Make that so that it doesn't become so specialized in February, and make it become more part of the normative.
Diversity can mean a variety of things, and it's really looking at things from other people's perspective and being intentional about that. That can include diversity of ideas, diversity of race, ethnicity, gender, and it's really just putting yourself in someone else's shoes and looking at things another way, and being intentional about that, and that's critical to the health of any community. I think the most important job of the committee is being a two-way street between our elected officials who we're being tasked with to really focus on the diverse aspects of our committee, and also being an open ear to people in the community that may not feel comfortable approaching elected officials or speaking out for themselves, and really being open to listening, hearing them, and advocating for them in the best way possible. Well, I've learned that people are generally willing to make an effort towards diversity, but they don't know how to help out in the best way. And sometimes it involves just being an open source to let them know what the best means are to do things, and also showing them that it's okay to speak out. So as someone that is on the autism spectrum, for me that means a lot, and just advocating for neurodiversity, showing that we're capable people. And then as someone that had to watch my dad experience some physical disabilities in his later years, advocating for people that need maybe additional assistance at entering buildings or sidewalks in towns, and making sure that we're a voice for them.
Really shows us how we interpret different stimulus. So for me, when I'm introduced with a problem or I've had an experience in my life, I may think something of it just based on just my experiences. But once coming to this group, I've had many people from different age groups, different genders, different cultures experience the same things as I did, but they were affected by it way differently. Like the way they thought and the way they thought to fix it was vastly different than myself. We experienced the exact same things, but just due to the way that we were brought up, or just how much experience we've had in those different environments, we attacked it way differently. And for me, that just gave me a different point of view for learning. We have quite a few goals that we would like to accomplish, and we're actually just now really getting our hands real dirty and getting in there and actually jotting down everything that we're doing. So we're still working on our plans for that. So we definitely do have a lot of things that we do have in the works, but we are going to be working on those before we make them a little bit more public.
In the next 5 years, I see this committee evolving in several ways. Really, I think that once our messaging is out there, that we've accomplished some goals, that we're going to integrate more with other existing committees and really be an asset to them to connect them with the goals that they're achieving, and also looking at different new challenges and possibilities that will come as the town continues to evolve. I think that it's about really taking the tradition that we have and the inheritance that we have with the town and keep improving upon it and making sure that we're inclusive of all people in the town.
That right there was a great conversation. Thank you so much, guys, and we will definitely be rooting for your success. And I can't wait to see where you take this all over the next 5 years. I know sometimes it may take a back seat in our mind, but there is a greater level of need in our community than one may think, especially when it comes to high school-aged children. One town teacher is taking it upon herself to make an enormous impact on those who may need a little helping hand. Miss Cari Coia started the Devil's Pantry, which is a year-round project designed to help students of Hammonton High School cope with traumatic and stressful financial situations. Many kids coming into our school with unmet needs that are impacting their ability to learn and can be academically successful. Cari Coia wants to help put an end to it all.
If you don't give somebody a running start or a chance to overcome what they're overcoming,
right,
in a real life kind of way, what are we doing? Why are we here? When you can see the relief on a kid's face that you're at least even for a few hours alleviating the pressure that they feel. The kids can be, the stories are, we are not a wealthy district. There's a lot more low income here than most people realize. And the townspeople have been amazing, so generous and whatever. But I don't think people really realized that the need is there. And now that you've kind of tapped it open, you have to keep going.
The Devil's Pantry survives on donations. Cash, gift cards, and checks are used to purchase clothes, school supplies, snacks, and much more. Students can also get their laundry done, need be, as the pantry is outfitted with a washer and dryer. Cari told me that science clearly demonstrates that children need to feel safe and comfortable in order to learn. This pantry is just the beginning of a new way of thinking about and handling our students and their complicated situations. Since the program has been up and running, many families have received assistance and have had tremendous positive results. If you're interested in making a donation to this worthy cause, you can contact Cari directly at Hammonton High School. I really wish something like this was available when I was in school because, truth be told, I'd be someone that took advantage of the assistance. Amazing job, Miss Coia. We wish you nothing but the best, and I will support you in any way possible. It's just incredible what you are doing. One of the biggest treasures here in town, the Eagle Theater. Right before the pandemic, I enjoyed a show there for the first time. It was incredible. It's essentially Broadway talent and production teleported right here to Hammonton. I immediately fell in love with the place. COVID has hit all industries very hard, especially the entertainment industry, but it's starting to make a triumphant comeback. I stopped by the theater and caught up with Eagle's producing artistic director, Angela Longo, who also so happens to be directing an exciting new show that opens this week. Let's find out more.
So I'm directing Xanadu, and I also am a producer for the production too. So I selected this show, and now I get to work and collaborate with all the designers and the actors to make the show come to life. And basically my vision for it was to just make it as fun and humorous as possible, just because I really think that audiences who are coming back to the theater right now are looking for a good laugh and also want to see something that's high energy and kind of inspiring and exciting. And Xanadu is definitely that for me. It's also really great pop music from the 1980s featuring the music of ELO, and I think it's just one of those shows that makes people smile. It's definitely a colorful explosion. It's a story about a young man who's lost all of his artistic inspiration, and a muse that's in a mural that he's painting pops out of the wall and comes to life. And she is forbidden to fall in love with mortals, and she's forbidden to create art herself. And so the musical itself explores their relationship and how she inspires him to make art again. It's kind of, it feels appropriate for this moment in time, just because there's a lot of artists who are lacking inspiration right now, and so this show is just very funny and kind of reminds us to just like laugh a little bit and make art, even if it's feeling like a daunting time to do so. Oh, we are currently in tech for our production right now, which just means that all of the additional design elements are starting to come together. The actors at this point know the show pretty well, and now it's adding on all the things that make the show feel very theatrical, like costumes, lights. We have projection in this show. We did some green screen work, which was really fun. Yeah, so you'll see a lot of different arts converging in this production, as well as roller skates. So having all of these exciting elements come together all at once is, it's very tricky, especially with sound and live music and all these things coming together, but this is the week that it all happens, so it's a crunch week for us right now, but it's exciting. Communication is probably the most challenging thing, just because there's so many people working on the production together. Especially with COVID, that's another layer of communication, you know, making sure that everyone's up to date on vaccinations, everyone's coming in getting COVID tested. We test our actors and anybody that works on our team like 2 times a week. So there's just so many little things that we all just need to be on the same page about, because in order for the show to go smoothly, night after night, everybody's kind of got to really know how this thing works, and making everybody on the same page is a challenge, but I think we're doing pretty well so far. It's just such a gift to have something like this in a small town. I'm definitely someone who feels intimidated sometimes going to the theater, which is why I'm definitely somebody who advocates to make it feel accessible and just like a fun place and a fun environment and a welcoming environment for anybody, even if it's your first time seeing a show. I try to select shows that I think are approachable and aren't too intimidating. Xanadu, I think, is definitely one that anybody can come in and get a good experience from. So I think that's sort of my approach. So we do a good amount of engagement right now. We get involved with the Hammonton Arts Committee, so we attend monthly meetings for that, and we get involved with Third Thursday, and we try to get involved as much as possible to provide entertainment in addition to what we do on our main stage throughout the community as well. Third Thursday, I think, is one of the things that we do the best right now. Our artistic associate, Kylie, will go around town and really interview all the businesses and be like, oh, what are you doing right now? What are your specials? And we also have our arts education conservatory. So we work with kids as early as kindergarten through high school to help hone their skills and their craft as well. Next door, we are lucky to have housing, which is our first level is our offices, and then the second and third level is actor housing, because we have artists coming from sometimes all over the country coming to work here, which is really cool. And so the exterior of our building is a historic building that we've received funding to restore to its historic state. So it's starting to come together really beautifully, and it's our home, really. So that's where we spend most of our time until we get here and are starting to work on stage again. Xanadu runs March 3rd through 20th. March 3rd is a free or pay what you decide performance. It's our preview, and that is hosted by the New Jersey Theater Alliance Stages Festival, so it's an excellent opportunity that we have with them. So if you're somebody that can't afford to come otherwise, this is a perfect time for you to make that decision. And then the 4th is our opening night, and then we run through the 20th, so Thursday through Sunday, and you can get tickets from Eagle Theater at www.eagletheater.org.
Thank you, Angela, and I can't wait to see the show. I'm on my way to go get the tickets now. What's that, Dave? Oh yeah, I gotta finish this show. Okay, all right, but I can't wait to get there. If you're looking for a positive community event to engage in and spend some time outdoors, it is going to be a nice weekend. Join us for the annual lake cleanup this Saturday. We are expanding the reach of our amazing volunteers can have on making Hammonton even more beautiful. This year, the annual lake park cleanup will be extended to cover other parts of the community, so get your information, or maybe you want to suggest a spot to clean up. Just go and register your group at HammontonGreenCommittee.com. Thank you so much for joining us for this month's episode. I hope you enjoyed all the positive stories going on in our community. And don't forget to come back next month to see what's up next on Access Hammonton.